Welcome on in to Two Balls and a Mic. Again, we are starting this year fantastically. We've had Andrew Vasiliades, we've had E, we've had... ¿Quién más tuvimos? Oh, we have another surprise coming up too. Yeah. But this surprise, it's been a while. We've talked to him once, second time guest. You know him, you love him. AG1. Let's please say hi to Mr. Austin Guerrero. How are you, Austin?
I'm good. I'm happy to be back with you guys.
No, thank you, man. This has been a long time coming. You always let me know, hey, cuando voy a estar en el pod? When am I going to come on the pod over training? And you know, like, I really thank you for being so open and being one of those guys over at training that's been, you know, just very accessible in general. Hello.
Yeah, here.
Perfect.
Did you lose me? I'm here.
Yeah, perfect. We're there. But no, again, thank you for being one of those players that is incredibly accessible here with us. I know you've had a lot of, you know, success in your career, but I'm glad that you were able to bring it back on home. And let's see if we can check.
Yeah. Some. There it is.
There we go.
This is what we get.
There you go. I can see you now.
Yeah, this is what we get for having a podcast in the garage for about a year and a half at this point. But no, thank you, Austin, for joining us. Again, this is preseason week has started for you. I don't know if you remember last preseason, you were out at the tryouts and we ran into each other, and you gave me some shit about not being out there in the tryouts myself. But honestly, I didn't recognize you, dude. Estabas bien both. You were like a completely different person. Tell me, how's preseason been different last year to this year? What are some things that are different for you this time around?
Probably just a few different faces. You know, I think the overall standard and expectations haven't really changed. You know, there's a few new guys, and other than that, it's the same old. To me, it was I was talking to Matt Hall, and I was like, man, I kind of feel like we've never left. You know, you pick up kind of where you left off, and you kind of continue to build into that continuity of what we did last year and the year before. And it's really cool to be back in the atmosphere again.
And again, this year is going to be a different year. Again, all 3 years of San Diego Loa's existence have been, you know, tumultuous to say the least. Pandemic, shortened season, different schedule.
Yeah.
Dude, you've been hitting the gym hard. Like we've seen those posts, man. When are you gonna take me and Tony out there for a workout?
Whenever you guys want, man. Whatever you guys want. You know, I don't know. I've never been the biggest guy. I've never been a big goalkeeper, and I think it's something that adds to my game a little bit, and it's something that I've kind of bought into, and I think kind of helps me when it comes to, you know, maybe not necessarily in certain movements, but maybe the confidence to come for crosses, the confidence to come and be physical when need be.
And
I enjoy it.
We've seen you get physical, all right. I can remember that away game where you weren't too happy about a certain opponent coming up to you and trying to body check you, and then he goes down and, you know, tries to draw the foul. You remember that game?
Yeah, we laughed about it afterwards. But those plays are so bang, you know. There's the circumstances and those situations are always so. He was just going for the ball. I came right through him, just grabbed it. But yeah, he felt that one. He felt that one a bit, and we had a good laugh. His cleat actually came across my chest. That's what I was mad about.
Yeah, we were out there at the Hilltop Chula Vista training the day after, I believe, and I think you were talking with Charlie, like, this motherfucker just left the studs right here. Like, you know, it's fresh, but I mean, that happens with the position, man. Again, you're the perfect type of mentality for the goalkeeper, bro. Like, you're like a you know, you have to be a different animal. Like, for soccer to be like, hey, I'm going to decide to use our hands and be the only guy who uses my hands. Like, have you enjoyed the development of your play here in San Diego, or do you feel like?
No, definitely. You know, it hasn't been easy for me. My career's had a lot of probably more lows than highs, and I haven't gotten tons of games. And so I was actually retired before I came back for my first season. I was like out of soccer for almost a full year. Thought I was retired. I wasn't retired. I came back from having not really played in North Carolina into like getting back into a professional, like day to day. And that was a whole process in itself. And then I built on that, grabbed a couple games that season. And then last season, fought my way into a position to play. And here we are now, where I'm starting a new season coming off of playing 16 games. And so just kind of continue to try and build on what I do each season. And that's really the focus.
So Austin, with this new season coming up, obviously it's going to be almost a new backline. So is it difficult for you to have to communicate with different defenders from season to season, or who are you looking forward to working in that backline with this upcoming season?
I'm actually really excited about the guys that are coming in. Kyle Adams, I've actually played soccer with since he was in college. I've known him for probably more than 8 years now. I've known him for a very long time. We kind of have the same San Diego social circle of soccer players, because he played at San Diego State, and he's just a phenomenal guy and a very good player. So I already have a very good rapport with him. So I know that our communication it's already good. It's already very good. And I met Nico just got in, and he looks like a player. He looks like a player. And besides those guys, off the top of my head, you got Elijah, you have Stoney, Jack Metcalf's back in the mix. We actually have a lot of guys that are returning. There's a couple new defenders coming in, but with the experience that we have on the back line with guys like Stone and Metcalf and Elijah, the new guys pick up the jargon pretty quickly. And after a handful of training sessions, I don't think it'll be any kind of an issue with communication.
And communication is one of, I would say, your strengths. And, we did see that, obviously, the way it transpired last year. You were already getting some play time as number one goalkeeper. And you came in, especially at that first game here at home, where you got that clean sheet. What did those mean to you? We talked a little bit during the season. It's a little not necessarily robotic, but it's the answer. Look, It's a team thing. It's a team effort. It's team. But for you personally, what does that mean to get those clean sheets in very important times?
It's a huge victory. And where we were at in that season, having not had a shutout yet, and my situation on a personal level, it meant a ton, because, as a number two goalkeeper, you come in, you fight, and you're just kind of like in a position where you got to support the team, you got to support the guy in front of you, you need to be a good teammate, but you have to, when you do get an opportunity, it's everything. Like that's it. And then whatever happens after that, that's out of your hands. But those little opportunities, those moments are what really, when you get that chance, it's like, it's your World Cup. It's your opportunity to put yourself in a better light, or put yourself in a position where, if maybe there's an injury or there's a drop in the level of play from the guy in front of you, then that's where it's like, well, Austin just had a pretty good game. Maybe we give him a go this game against Phoenix or Sacramento or whoever, the big opponent is that's coming up. And so that particular game, that Oakland game, for me was massive for multiple reasons. And one of them being, I think that was my first shutout. That was my first shutout for the club as well, because I got banged on against Reno. We had a shocker. And then LA away, I got scored on in the 94th minute. And so shutout, Tony, shutouts are what we as goalkeepers, that's our goal. That's us scoring a bicycle kick. That's us scoring a upper 90 goal or whatever. That for us is scoring a goal. So a shutout for me is massive. It's massive. And it really raises the whole team's morale. The defense is those are my boys. I bring in donuts for the entire team. And it's kind of become it's a celebration. It's a huge celebration whenever we get a shutout, especially a win, a win shutout. I don't even care the score line. 1-0 is the best score for me.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out Donut Bar.
Yeah, shout out to Donut Bar. I don't know. We might need to sort some sort of relationship out with those guys, because I was coming out of pocket a little bit. Find some sort of 20% off for some sort of sponsorship, or I don't know.
Yeah,
get the Loyal to do a post about them or something. I don't know.
I know some people at Loyal. Don't worry, Austin.
Yeah.
And like you said, clean sheets and shutouts are huge for a goalkeeper. But during the season, there were some games where it seemed like it was going to be a shutout, and then towards the last couple minutes, they ended up the team ended up getting scored. So what's something that you feel like the teams has been working this offseason, during preseason? What's something that you guys feel like you can work towards that?
You know, unfortunately, last season, I think that we could have had a little bit better of it. And I take this also into account. And I thought about this a lot because, I mean, I had 2 months to think about and kind of recap the season. We just have to be nastier on set plays. And if we're nastier on set plays and we have a little bit better disposition and just that hunger to get the ball out, you know, I think some of those goals don't happen. And so, you know, talking with guys like Guido, Charlie, Flaky, all the guys, just, you know, in general, when it comes to those moments at the end of the game, it's almost like we have to even turn it on even more. And so like that communication, that fire, the drive, all that needs to be like just amplified instead of like going into a position where you're like, oh man, I hope Stoney heads it out, or man, I hope Austin comes and punches this, or it's more like every single guy on our team needs to go into a position where it's like, I'm going to go get this fucking ball, or I'm going to be the guy that's going to go get the ball out, or whatever. So it's kind of like a mental battle, those goals at the end of the game. You know, I look back at like that Oakland play where I came out, and it's just like, you know, it's mental lapses at the end of games, and it's just a little bit more concentration and things that, you know, we'll definitely be talking about and working on in training. And I know that the staff's already addressed it. And so, you know, it's something that we're very focused on and hope to improve. We will improve on for this season. And I think what it really boils down to is just, you know, us being nastier, us just being, excuse my language, but just being motherfuckers. And that's what it comes down to.
No,
you know?
that's it. Yeah, no. And yeah, it's no other way to say it, right? And again, I thank you for not sugarcoating it, because that's what it is on the field, on the training field. That's how it's spoken. That's how it's talked. And, you know, it can be at any level. You know, obviously you're not going to scream at 5-year-olds, hey, motherfucker. Like, come on.
No, yeah.
We'll get fired.
But no, like, that's the intensity, and that's how serious this is. This is serious business. And, you know, in those training sessions, they get testy. And sometimes, you know, Austin runs his mouth a little bit, and well-deserved, because nobody's been able to score on him. So, I mean, you seem to always just be the voice and just the energy. You're the team DJ from what we've heard and known. So is that kind of like the role that you naturally just fit into in trainings? Like
when I started this process, even coming in, I actually came in as the 4th string goalie when I came in as a trialist, period. I told myself, if this isn't going to be fun, then there's no point in me doing it. And so I bring that energy, because if I'm not enjoying it and I'm not, you know, living every moment to its best, then I don't really see the point in doing this anymore, you know, because at the end of the day, it's business, and it's a fight, and it's, you know, when it comes down to it being a game, it's a game, and it's all business. But the reality is, on the day-to-day, like, you have to enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy it, you're going to lose your mind, and you're going to play even worse. And it's just hard, you know. It's hard to show up every single day and just be like Mr. Mean Mug, Mr. Like, it's not even healthy, you know. And so if I can transmit some of that energy and some of that lightheartedness, or, I mean, and you see me at training, it's not always like I'm Mr. Nice Guy, but like that energy, I think kind of spreads. And when I tell like Elijah, hey Elijah, like, come on, man, I'm like, you know, you got to be vocal on your side of the field. And he pops up and he's like, yeah, you know, when you give those guys those little slaps on the ass, and sometimes they're like, yeah, let's go. Yeah, you know it, let's go. And then they talk, and then the guy in front of him talks, and then the guy in front of him talks. And next thing you know, the whole team's chirping, and everybody's like, you know, the energy is high. And that's what I try to do every day.
And again, I've seen both sides of the same coin. It's that energy, and immediately I can recall, I don't know if you remember this, there was a training session where I was set to talk to you a little bit. I'm like, hey, you know, Austin, you know, have some time. You're like, yeah. But then as the training progressed, like, you just straight up came up to me. He's like, you know what? I'm just not feeling it today. I'm like, you know what? Good, because it's an important game coming up, and he needs to concentrate. He doesn't need to be listening to my dipshit questions right now. I'm actually, I like that, and 100%, like it's part of it, because again, you have to be concentrated in the zone and just know exactly, you know, what's at stake here. And
some days, some things happen at training, and it's always for the best. Like whatever happens in my eyes, like whatever's said or done, or what, maybe if I make an error or, you know, we get scored on or whatever, like I do get mad. But I know at the end of the day, like, you know, it's all for, we're always going to improve on whatever mistakes we make. Like, that's why, you know, that's why we're still in the game, is because anytime something bad happens, we fix it. But there are times at the end of training where, you know, I'd rather not, I don't want to come to you in a bad mood, you know, and I don't want to have me being recorded where I'm like, oh, like being short with you or whatever. Like, you're a great guy, so I don't want to come in with like negative energy or in a weird headspace because of, you know, maybe something that happened in training or, you know, whatever was going on that day. I think I remember when that was, but yeah, you know, tension can run high sometimes, and for the most part, about 98% of the time, I'm going to be ready for your interviews.
Definitely appreciate that. And appreciate the honesty again. Cause like, you know, you could have done that, poner mala cara on, and, you know, you chose not to, and that's knowing yourself. And that's really, I take great respect from that, and I appreciate that. Chiva?
And it's not secret that you're very vocal, and it's great for a goalkeeper to be like that. And at this part of the things I told Tony during last season, you know, I like Austin on goal because I just feel like he's very vocal with the defense, and I feel like the flow of the game is just better with Austin on goal. So we're gonna show you a little clip right now, and I want you to tell us what your favorite moment from this clip was. It's from one of our favorite Instagram pages, by the way.
Oh, that one. That's a bunch of fun stuff right there.
First of all, it's one of my favorite songs on Instagram and on social media happening right now. Just works with everything. But yes.
It's hard to pick a favorite. Those were all huge moments in this season for me. Like the saves against New Mexico. I actually have a full highlight video, but I didn't want to put it out there, but
put it out there, please.
Those particular plays, it's funny to watch those back because I think about like all the work that goes into it, like that cross that I came and caught like around the PK area or whatever that was. So the reason that clip was in there is because for me, like, that's like reps and reps and reps and years of like push your range, and me staying after practice for 30 minutes or an hour having like Chavi or CJ or like whoever has legs that day, like just serving balls, and I'm just like flying out for cross, and it's like, you know, you work so hard and you work on like these little things, and then you execute it in a game, and then being able to look back at that moment proud is special to me, because obviously like I've had such a fight for a career, and so like even just watching that video back anytime, if I'm ever like feeling down or doubting anything about my game, I like to just click back to that little clip, and it's like, dude, like this is why we do it. Like, you know, we work hard, we practice something, and then we do our best to execute it in the game. And those were a few of those moments, you know, like the side volley. Like, I can't tell you, I couldn't tell you how many side volleys I've practiced, like since the age of maybe like 10 years old. I had a Latin coach that was training me, and he taught me how to hit a side volley. So like that side volley is something that I've been working on since I was 10 years old. Like so like all of those things are just like little things that like I've just put hours, and like just like I would love to have some sort of like measurement, because I don't know, it's a lot of work.
That's the wonderful thing about that, because like, those side volleys are a very, very specific training, and And coaches get really upset when you don't hit it exactly where you want to. And I think it's back to those things where when it happens, you think back to those trainings, to those people, and you're like, wow, like this coach would have been really proud of me. Like if only coach was here right now, I'd be like, look, he'd probably still tell you something you could have done better. And that's what we love, man.
And like you said, it takes hard work, it takes practice. And there was one goal in the season that we feel like just wrap all that hard work and it showed on the field, and we're going to play that for you. And we want to see your reaction to it and walk us through your mindset towards this goal, because it started with you. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you know which goal.
Same Elijah, we had him a week ago. He actually said this is the best goal of the season, and we have to agree.
Yeah.
Where other players are going to be, the strengths, who can hit that first-time ball.
There he is again. Guido at midfield. Options ahead. Springs it for Martinez. Off the left side. Martinez and San Diego's ahead.
So what goes down in your mind? First of all, you're the first person to touch this ball because, again, the way that these new rules are set up for goalkeepers, you can have a goal kick within the box, something that I think we've talked about a little bit that I've actually resented because back in my day, I didn't have the leg for it. And I had to boot it, but now you can start it from it. That's not fair.
Well, I mean, a couple of things come to mind when I see that clip. Number one, that was maybe one of my worst games of the season. I got near posted by what's his name? He just signed at Oakland. I got near posted that game. That was not my best game. That particular play, that particular ball, again, is something that I've spent like hours and out. Like I would stay after training with sometimes Nate would stay with me. Sometimes Matt would stay, or one of the other goalkeepers. Ant would maybe hang out and we'd work on this ball. And it's just something that since day one, even like since we first started playing like here in San Diego, is something that we've like worked on, you know. And I remember in particular, Nate was like, why don't you just hit it like this? And it was like the way I line up now, and I don't know if a rival's going to see this or whatever. I guess it doesn't really matter, but it looks like I'm going to play out the other direction. And so I hit the ball back across, but that's just like training. Like I've just worked on that, clipping that ball like over and over and over again. And I saw that we had a little bit of space on that side, and I just said, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna clip it over there and see what happens. And then the boys just did the rest. So I could hit the first ball, but they got to do everything else.
And it's crazy to think, like, not the average person is not gonna think, wow, Austin is working after hours on just this one pass. Yeah, and it's crazy to think about to the average person. So I mean, great work, man. It was a great season, and
it's that minutia of detail, that attention to detail, that you know, it's incredible to see.
Those goal kicks are we were actually working on build out yesterday, and some of the guys were like, man, like build out, like this is like, you know, this is boring or whatever. But like to me, when I watched Brazil play the other day versus Paraguay, and the most exciting moments for me is when Anderson was getting the ball and playing out of the back. Like to me, that's the most exciting part of the game. I don't know if it's for you guys, but for me, like watching goal kicks, like I get mad when I watch a game on TV and it's a goal kick and they pan to the coaching staff, or they pan to the you know what I mean?
Yes.
And so
yes,
I love goal kicks. Like that to me is like an art in itself. Like that is it's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. And the play itself, like the way it all worked out, like it's the same thing. Like the guys, like we work on build out. We work on like, maybe we don't have like, yo, play number 4 or whatever. but we have like a certain idea of options that either I have or the center backs have, and then the movements that will go off the ball. And that was just like a moment of like divine execution, you know, like it was just a very cool moment. And I remember celebrating that goal with Josh Yarrow, because like I wasn't having the best game, and then to end up having that start of the play, and then we score off it, and it being the goal that puts us up, like, you know, that was huge for me. That was huge for me.
Yeah,
and the entire group. The guys did it. You know, the guys did it. But
I could
But
tell
yeah,
you.
you know, it's just something that the coaching staff has stressed from us from the beginning is like, we're gonna play football, like we're gonna play, like, and something that Nate's pushed me to do and be better at is like, just don't be afraid to play. You know, don't be afraid to like hit a pass instead of like getting the guys up the field and just smashing it long. He's like, you know, the more possession we have, and it's just the better we're going to be. The less the other team touches the ball, like the better off. You know what I mean? So it's something that has kind of been also drilled into me to a certain extent of like, okay, we're a soccer team. Like we're a soccer team. We're going to play. We're, you know, instead of just like smashing it up the park, because that was kind of late. I think that wasn't exactly early in the half. I don't think
It was in the 56th minute.
Okay, so it was about mid. But like in that scenario, the game was tied, right?
Yeah, it was 1-1.
A lot of teams you'll watch in the USL would just pack the guys up the park and smash it. You know, a lot of teams would do that, and so, you know, one of the things that we're really pushed to do is just be a soccer playing team, and don't be afraid to play out.
And that's amazing that Nate is able to give you that freedom, right? Because a lot of coaches in general, like, don't put a second thought to the goalkeeper sometimes. Like they're just their own, in their own area, in their own training. It's them and the goalkeeper coach. Like it's them out there.
Yeah.
But to be given that option, that freedom to be able to say, hey, you can choose what you want. Like you can start something brand new is a testament to the coaching staff having that confidence in you guys to be able to execute. And is that something that you've experienced somewhere else, or is this something like exclusively maybe to Nate Miller's style?
I have experienced it to a certain extent, but it's like the way that our staff and LD and Nate and everybody is just kind of like, all right, in this moment, you're the quarterback. Like you're the one that's going to make the decision on like what or how we're going to start this play. And the majority of the times it's just like, you know, we're going to, you know, keep it pretty simple. But every once in a while, when I see those opportunities present itself, then it's like I have the freedom to just hit it, and hopefully it works out. Because if it doesn't, I'll probably I might hear about it, you know. But that's fine, and that's exactly what is going to push all of us to be better. Is just constantly being pushed to execute what we train.
Yeah, and like we mentioned before, clean sheets, but I wanted to ask, I know it's not the most important thing, but do you ever get tired of people thanking you for free car washes?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
no,
I
cool.
figured.
I don't know, like it's funny, like if we get a shutout and on Twitter, it's like that's thanks for the car wash, you know. But yeah. No, it's cool. I mean, what you know, the recognition's appreciated, but it's funny that that's the reward. But I know Sophie Joe's.
Shout out.
Landon gets pissed.
Yeah, no, Landon got pissed. Like one day, like I don't know,
Yeah.
it wasn't us. Like we were just there next to a dude that was asking, hey, like, so how do you feel? Are you excited that for the car wash and the clean sheet? He was like, oh, that's what people care for, huh? Okay. I was just like, oh, I'm glad it wasn't me.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I understand the promotion and the business side of it. It's kind of fun. Like I'm like, you know, the day before the game or whatever, and somebody puts like, come on, Austin, I need a car wash. You know, it's like, all right, fair enough. You know,
But speaking of business side of things, how excited are you about this Charlie brand deal?
I like Charlie. I had Charlie when I was at Puebla. The gear is great. The stuff that we've got so far, I love. I know they're excited to work with us, which is a little bit different from Adidas. Adidas took good care of us, but like, it's nice from what I understand, and I don't know everything, but from what I understand, Charlie was very interested in getting into the market here. And so when a company wants to work with a team, it's like you get a little bit more stuff. You know, as players, like we love the swag, we love everything that comes along with being a part of this amazing club.
Those training kits were pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's all cool, man. It's all great. Our travel kits, our polos and everything's top of the line. So
what's one of those things, one of those perks as a professional soccer player, like that you don't necessarily take for granted, that you kind of like I see these AG1 Aviata goalkeeper gloves, and they're amazing quality.
That's nice. Yeah, that's super
that's
nice.
awesome. Is there something
yeah.
like that you're like, man, like this little thing? It's the little things.
I mean, the perks, the real little things that I think that are like things that sometimes guys take for granted or forget that like it's so special. It's just like getting up every morning, going down to a state-of-the-art facility, having breakfast with 20 of your buddies, going into a film session to improve yourself at your craft, and getting to go down to like an immaculate pitch with brand new balls, an amazing coaching staff, like just those little things like that is like, it's beautiful, man. Like, you know, you guys have been out there, you've been out to Chula Vista, you've seen what the overall like ambiente is like. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful, it's amazing, you know. And so to be able to be a part of that, like that's the real, you can call that little thing or big thing or whatever, but for me, like that's the real perks, is like getting up every morning and going down. Like, I'll be honest, man, like in the off season, I'm just like, dude, after a little break's good, but after a while, it's like you get up, you're like, oh man, I gotta go to the gym, or I gotta find a way to train today or whatever. Like right now, like I'm waking up at like 6:45, no alarm, like jumping out of bed, like, you know, making my little espresso in the morning. I'm just like jamming down to Chula Vista. Like I'm so excited every day, because it's just like, for me personally, it's just a joy, man. It's just it's a fun passion. It's just something that I've been doing for so long, and now to be able to do it right here and just go down to the Olympic Training Center it's special, dude. It's like, to me, it doesn't really get much better. Like the facilities, just everything that we got going on right now. It's top tier.
It's better than a 9-to-5 job, man. That's for sure.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
100%. I know that because I've worked, you know, and I understand what it's like to put in a shift and to go from that life to this life. It's like, yeah, we're blessed. We're blessed, man.
Living the dream, man. Honestly, like every time I'm allowed to go watch a training at the Olympic Training Center.
Yeah, I gotta get you back down there, man. We miss you.
Yeah, no, I'm trying. Trust me, I'm trying. But it's a privilege to be out there, man. And like, obviously, like I would do this for free, which we are, which it's even cost money. But it's honestly worth it, man. And you know, it's good to have players like yourself that realize that. And I like also, you know, you have different types of players in the off season. You know, Elijah was like, nah, just disconnect. Like soccer, what? Like it's not even my area. Yeah. That's how he does it. And so everybody has that thing. You're different. Like you're out there just like just doing. I mean, goalkeeper tricks are a thing, because I've actually tried this and I couldn't execute it quite right. Like I didn't realize how.
Wait, you're telling me the great Tony Sanchez can't pull this off?
I mean, I
it's all
can.
about repetitions, man. It's all about repetitions.
Come on, Tony.
But again, like you see Austin around San Diego, around the soccer community, even in the off season. I know your brother plays over in a couple of leagues, right? So you're always out there, out and about. Like you get that itch, and you're like, you know what? I'll just be the ringer for today. Like I could use a guy.
I've jumped in. I didn't jump in this off season, but I definitely have before. And it's just love of the game, man. That's what it boils down to. And I love my brother, and I love going out to watch him play. And then he's got a super tight group community of guys that he's played with forever, and I'll eventually be playing with those guys as well. And so that's like there's like a whole culture. Like the city is just amazing when it comes to soccer, because there's all these different groups of guys, and they all grew up together, and it's just amazing. Like we have amazing community of soccer players in San Diego.
Tell me a little bit about those off-season like pickup games with some of the guys that I know some people got here early. We saw some IG posts, IG stories out there. How was that?
Yeah, they're pretty good. Good level. You just kind of see like the San Diego like AllStars that have either gone on to play in MLS or maybe just are a couple years out of retirement. It's pretty cool, man. You got Servando Carrasco out there, and Gabe Farfan. You'll see Brian Olofsky running around and Aiden Quinn. And it just so happens that Servando's married to Alex Morgan. So
we saw that.
in.
Yeah.
And, Abby was playing with us. And it's just, that's just a fun, those little sessions aren't necessarily like chippy, or it's just something like, it's just a tight group of friends, almost like just that we all really know each other and have known each other for a long time. And so it's just kind of like a fun pickup game of soccer, like maybe you guys would jump into at the park, but it's with really good professional players.
It's with good players.
Just like the best of the best.
Yeah.
It's like in the old 80s movies when people are playing volleyball at the beach, and it's like they're not bums, they're just like chiseled professionals.
Well, we don't just play with just anybody. I mean, this offseason we played with recently retired professional Sal Zizzo,
which
he crapped on me.
Just
Completely
destroyed.
crapped on everyone.
I mean, now that we're bringing up that game, I stopped the shot by Shannon McMillan, and I know Austin have seen the talent flair of Shannon.
That was
right?
a great save.
Did you see it? Is there any breakdown of that? Like, is there something that could have done better?
You know what? I'm really bummed out. I was going to go to that game, but due to some circumstances of like COVID, and there was like a little COVID scare there.
Mm-hmm.
I actually ended up not going to the arena that night, but I actually had tickets. Boris gave me tickets to that game, the goalkeeper for the Sockers. And so I was actually like, I didn't even know that was going on. I probably would have gone and found a way to get a COVID test. So I didn't have COVID, but I would have probably fought a little bit harder to get to the game if I knew all you guys were playing. But yeah, I saw the clip, and amazing.
The magic of these gloves. I'm saving the body and the gloves for special occasions.
I've told people I'm just glad he didn't get that clean sheet, because man, his ego would have just been through the roof.
You know how pissed. I don't have to remind Austin, especially I don't want to bring up bad memories, but that New Mexico game, like I felt exactly like that. Like if I had a press conference after, I'd be as pissed as you were that day.
Yeah. That was a moment.
He's like, yeah.
I actually have a photo. I have a photo of me after that game. Like, I was pretty upset about that game. That was rough.
And, obviously last season was what last season was, got San Diego soccer team to a playoff game. But this season is incredibly exciting. The preseason is going to start with Whitecaps and then against Cholos. I wanted to say, like, how are you looking forward to the competition this season? Obviously, you have somebody who is coming in from Europe. Like, okay, like all right, like last time we asked you this was with Muse, and you again laser focused Austin Guerrero, and I love that.
Yeah, for me, it's the same thing. It doesn't matter where he's coming from. Like if he's coming from the MLS, if he's coming from the Bundesliga, like I don't really care. What it boils down to for me is just I'm going to come and compete, do my job, and at the end of the day, the coaching staff's going to make the decision. And I'd love for it to be me, but either way, I'm gonna support the team and keep fighting, because it's a long season, and at some point or another, I'm gonna get my opportunity, and I'm gonna make the very best of it.
Yeah, so we're going to try to start wrapping it up. We know se está acabando la vela ya afuera, So,
yeah, is it getting dark out here? I actually do got to kind of wrap this up.
No, you're
good, man.
Just a few, last question. Are you still, what's the roomie situation right now?
Are you guys roomies? Con Guido? Or es
Oh, Guido's my guy. Yeah, no, they can't separate us. Even if they put me in a different room, Guido and I will kick the guy out, and Guido and I are inseparable on the road.
Are you excited? Are you excited for all the different traveling in this next season?
I'm super excited, man. I'm super excited for the different opponents, different cities, and our schedule's super strong, and I can't wait to get going.
I love it, man. Well, again, thank you for your time, Austin. I know you're a busy man, especially with the preseason already started. Check out San Diego Loyal. Check out San Diego Loyal's #1 goalkeeper, número uno, el consentido. All right, don't you forget it, Austin. We love you, bro.
Thanks,
Austin
guys.
Guerrero,
love
thank you for
too,
joining
man.
us.
I hope to see you guys super soon. All right.
Ahí estás, buddy.
Maybe I'll
Take care.
At a soccer game. I'm gonna go check out some soccer games.
Hell yeah, let's
Hell
go
yeah,
for
man.
it. All right, appreciate it.
Take care, man.
All right, bye.
That was
So there you guys had it.
yeah.
You guys had
The
Austin
great
Guerrero.
Austin Guerrero.
He said he doesn't care where people come from. He's gonna fight for his starting spot, and I love to hear that, man. Competition's always gonna be great.
Exactly, and you can hear it. Like you can hear the intensity. Like, oh, I don't know where he comes from, but like this and that. Like, but again, thank you, Austin Guerrero, for joining us, and thank you guys for checking us out. And again, we're still on a roll. February is starting out pretty well.
Trying to get more players in. We're trying to get as many interviews as we can before it starts getting busy during the season.
It will start getting busy. So shout out to everybody who's been following us. Follow at 2 Balls and a Mic at Instagram, Twitter, and listen to it on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere that you think you can listen and hear us. Go ahead and go for that. We are San Diego's #1 independent, San Diego loyal media outlet. Thank you.
Sir.
Bye.